close my eyes to the little bit of toxicness, support women's wrongs. Hi guys, and welcome back to my YouTube channel. Today we're gonna film a bookish video. It's the mid-year reading tag, and I read 22 books in the months from January till June 28th. And we're gonna go through my favorites, the stars of the book world, my favorite characters, my favorite book boyfriends, all of that jazz. And we're also gonna go through the books I absolutely hated. The first 6 months of this year in terms of reading were a little hard. I think I've said this before, but last year was the biggest book slump, or the biggest reading slump I've ever been in. I think I read 22 books in all of last year, so I'm really happy that I've read 22 books in only the first 6 months of this year. But it's insane because I remember the year before that I read 60 in a year, and the year before that I think I was about at 84. I don't know. So I feel like the older I get, the less books I read. So I'm really happy that I'm back to 22 right now. And I have to say, this year in reading terms, I was not reading good books in the first couple months. I had like a good book here and there, but not like, I was not obsessed with reading. And then in the last like 2 or 3 months, I did learn my love for reading. So I'm really happy that started and happened, because now I'm finally back to my like bookish content, and I love books, and it's all I care about. It's all I want to do. I want to read, I want to write, I want to create. It's all I care about. So I'm really happy I'm back in this world. I'm also happy I have a little reading corner now. And yeah, we can get into the books now. I've labored enough. Okay, so first of all, the best book I've read this year, or just my favorite book I've had so far, is definitely Releasing 10 by Chloe Walsh. It is the 6th book in the Boys of Tommen series, and it is definitely my favorite ever. I feel like Lizzie, I get her, and I know she gets a lot of hate, and everyone's like, oh my goodness, she's so not well behaved, and she's such a mean girl. I get her. I understand, like, I get it. I truly do understand, and I have so much love and adoration for that character. I feel like she is the realest character in the book. Now, mind you, I love all of the characters. Every single character in that book has a part of my heart, but Lizzie Young does definitely have if all the characters have half of my heart, Lizzie Young has the other half all for herself. So Releasing 10 owns me. That's the best book I've read this year. I'm so happy I finally picked it up, because I was putting the Boys of Tommen universe off for a really long time, just because the premise and everything just didn't really sound like something I'll adore. And now here we are, years later, and I'm waiting on the next book to be released. Also, I absolutely adore that Lizzie Young in the TV series is a person of color, because the one thing I didn't like about the books is that they were all no color. They were all white, and I just couldn't relate as much, because I've always liked when there's like a little bit of diversity, in the sense of, because our world is very diverse, so it only makes sense for friendship groups to also be diverse. So that was a little bit annoying to me. So I'm really happy that in the TV series she is actually a person of color, and it makes me so happy. I know she's getting a lot of hate for it, but I think that it is the coolest and most perfect decision Chloe Walsh and like the casting directors could have ever done, because I feel so seen and heard, and I believe it's gonna be an amazing series, and I'm so excited for it to happen. Then the runner-up for best book of the first 6 months would be either Every Summer After by Carly Fortune or Keeping 13. Keeping 13 is also a really good book. I love Keeping 13. I liked Binding 13, but Keeping 13 wrecked me. Like, seriously, wrecked me. And I like when books do that. But for Every Summer After I've had on my physical TBR for the last, I think, 4 years. I got it when it came out. I never picked it up, because I was like, I don't want to read this right now and everything. And when I did pick it up, I do understand the hype now. I am not a big fan of second chance and like childhood to lovers, the whole trope. I also don't like the cheating trope at all. So I was a little bit iffy, but I did really enjoy it. It is the perfect summer book. I feel like that's why I like it so much. It is the perfect summer book. Every Summer After is what a summer book is, like a summer romance, easy read. It doesn't like wreck you or anything, but it's like it had me obsessed that I wanted to read it the whole time. It's not like being obsessed with like a fantasy or like with a very emotionally heavy book, but it had me obsessed in the sense of I just felt good reading it. I felt at peace. I felt like this is what reading is supposed to be. The hardest two books to read were The Winners by Friedrich Bachmann. I recently discovered the Beartown series. I loved the Beartown. I loved Us Against You. I did not love The Winners. The Winners is a thick-ish book, and it is super well written. Still, I love his writing. I wasn't really obsessed with it anymore once I got to The Winners. Beartown and Us Against You had me like obsessed with the books in the sense that I was in class fully reading through 7 hours of school, and I would not put it down. The Winners did not do that for me, and that's why I didn't like it, and that's why it was hard for me to finish, because Beartown and Us Against You kind of gave the tone for the series, and The Winners kind of disappointed me personally, but that's only my opinion, okay? Then another book that was hard to finish was Sunrise on the Reaping. Now see, it wasn't hard to finish because it was not good or because it was not like addictive. No, I was addicted. I was crying. It was really good, but why the frick would you put Hamish through so much pain? It's my dear friend Hamish Abernathy. I've loved him since the first book came out. I've loved him in the TV movies. Why did you put him through so much? Like, also Suzanne Collins, never stop writing. Your writing is beautiful. If I ever get to the point where I find myself writing even just a little bit as good as you, yeah, her writing is insane. If you haven't read The Sunrise on the Reaping, you should definitely pick it up, because I personally am a Hunger Games girl. I've always been and I always will be. So The Sunrise of the Reaping is a very personal topic to me, and Hamish Abernathy's pain is now embedded into my heart forever and ever and ever. I can't wait for November 20th. It's a date I've been screaming at the top of my lungs about for everyone to know, because I'm so excited for it to finally be here and for me to finally be able to read and to watch the movie. So Sunrise on the Reaping was really hard to finish, really hard to get through, just because of the pain it inflicted in my heart. So then apparently I hate myself because I finished every single book I started this year. I did not DNF anything at all. So I don't know if I like myself, because there were some books on here that I don't know. So then my favorite couple for the first 6 months were, spoiler, Lizzie and Huey. I love them. Huey is the perfect book boyfriend. Well, he wasn't a man at that point. That boy loved that girl with all her heart, and I can only pray and hope that they will be able to fix what has been broken, and I would just want everything to go so well for them. Like, even if they do not end up together, which I will be crying about, I just hope Huey is immensely happy, because he deserves everything, as does Liz, but he deserves so much because he has been put through the trenches for this girl, and I love him for doing that, because every girl deserves a man like that. Like, no joke, I don't think Lizzie would have made it this far if it weren't for Huey, and I love him for that, and I love them together. I know it was sometimes toxic and everything, but Lizzie was going through a lot, so I do have a soft spot for her, and I feel bad for it, so I can like close my eyes to the little bit of toxicness, support women's wrongs. But yeah, those two are endgame for me. So I think my biggest surprise in like the reading world is that I'm not reading thrillers and murder mysteries right now, which I realized like a couple of days ago. I was like, when was the last time I read a thriller or a murder mystery? It doesn't really happen a lot at the moment. So I'm hoping to get back to those soon. But yeah, I think it's not a surprise, but I learned once again that summer is my romance reading season, because I love reading romance in summer. But I'm excited to pick up a thriller because I have quite a few that I want to read. So Now, the most anticipated reads or the most anticipated releases I have for this year. So one release I have is the new book in the Vicious series by V.E. Schwab, because if you did not know, Vicious is one of my favorite books ever. And also, I'm really excited for that one, but I hope I'll still love it because it has been a while since I was in that world, so I might have to reread the whole thing. But another book, I'm not like a book, but I'm currently trying to read the entire Sarah J. Maas universe. I read all of ACOTAR. I'm currently reading the Throne of Glass series because the new books are coming out, if I'm not mistaken, towards the end of this year. So I want to get through everything as soon as I can so that I can be there reading the new books with all of y'all, because y'all are always leaving me behind, because I'm always like, oh, I'm not gonna read this when it's in the hype, and then once I read it, I'm like, why didn't I just read it when it was in the hype, because I love it, and now there's no one to talk about it anymore. So yeah, the biggest books on my TBR right now are fantasies. I don't know why I'm not reading fantasies, because we all know I love fantasies, but the Sarah J. Maas books on my TBR are pretty big. I have Game of Thrones, the first book on my TBR. I don't know why I bought it 3 years ago, but it's still there. And I have like When the Moon Hatched. I have Mistborn. Yeah, fantasies are the giants on my TBR right now. And I have one Stephen King book, The Institute, which is also a little bit bigger. That is also on my TBR right now. So I'm really gonna get back into fantasies and thrillers and everything. I just don't know when that's gonna happen, because right now I enjoy hurting myself by reading emotional romance. Now let's go to my biggest disappointment in books in general in the last 6 months was The Bright Years. It wasn't super bad. It was not for me. I felt like it was so hyped by the people around me. I did not enjoy it. I like that the characters are complex and the whole like going back and forth, but I didn't enjoy it at all. No, I can't even remember really what it's about, because I spaced out so hard while reading that. I just did not know. The other book that is a little bit overrated in my opinion, I'm sorry, Yesteryear. I like the concept of it. It's like she's a trad wife influencer, and she, you know, portrays this kind of trad wife aesthetic on her social medias. And then one day she wakes up and she is in like I don't know if it's the 1800s, I think so, and she's stuck there. So now she actually has to live the life she has been portraying online and all of that stuff. And it was interesting, but the pacing was so off to me. I did not like the way the book was paced, so it kind of lost me somewhere. I feel like it could have been a good book, but maybe it was just not for me. I think it was cool to see like the whole, I don't really love having like the social media aspect in books, but I do know like it's a reality, so it somehow has to be there at one point. But it could have been done differently so that I would enjoy it, but then again, not every book is for me. My prediction for book of the year is I do not know. I feel like Releasing 10 definitely has like the qualities for it to be like my favorite book I've read this year. But I do know that I like to surprise myself with like random books that I never think I would have liked, and it then being the masterpiece of my year. But I don't know. I have so many different books on my TBR right now, and there's a lot of books that I don't have on my TBR that I would love to have on my TBR. So yeah, another book I want to get is Golden Summer by Carly Fortune, which is the book that's about Charlie from Every Summer After. Really excited for that one. I'm currently also watching Every Year After, just FYI. Hope I'll love it. Another series I started this year that I didn't think I'll like continue after reading the first one was the Devil's Night series. I don't love it, but I think I gave it like 3.54 stars just because I did like the storyline. Some of the things that happen in the books, especially the first one or the second one. I think it's in the second one. Is it? I don't know. I never want to be reminded of them again. I never want to talk about them. I don't want to remember they happened. I don't want to talk about it at all. But that was kind of a series that did surprise me. I'm not done yet. I've only read 2 books, but I was surprised. But a series I have been putting off since 2020 or something, The Unbecoming of Mara Dyer. I read the first 2 books, started the third one, not done yet. that series I knew I'd love. It gave me everything I wanted. It's kind of like the super fiction, magic powers thingy, and I really enjoyed that one. That one is really good. That one is really, really, really good. So okay, so 2 books I would like to recommend to you is The Dark Matter and One Broken Country. I really liked One Broken Country because it is a murder mystery, but at the same time a lot of other stuff is happening, and there's like, the only thing I don't like is the love triangle, but other than that I feel like it was a pretty cool book, especially with summer coming up. I think it's the perfect lake book to read at the lake, to read at the beach, because it is easy to read and you'll get through it super quick. It's not like amazingly, like the story is not perfect. Like there's a couple quirks that I do not like, but all in all it is really good. So that's a big rec. And then Dark Matter, same thing. I flew through it actually, and it was really good. It had me like questioning my life and questioning if there's any possibility that all of this could also be happening in my life ever. Not in my life, but in our world. So now I'm questioning if there's a whole other world, if there's another Rosie. Is she just as insane as I am? Will I ever know? Maybe. So yeah, that's also a book rec I'll give you guys. Yeah, I have a lot of books I want to read this summer, a lot of books I want to read for the remainder of the year. I can't believe we're already 6 months into the year. It's insane. Time is flying by. But yeah, I'm having the time of my life. I love reading again. I hope you guys love reading too. Hope you guys read a lot of good books this summer, because I am definitely gonna do that. And yeah, I hope you guys are having an amazing time. Pick up a book, get a fun drink, and have a good time. Have a good morning, afternoon, and night. Yeah, see you next time. Bye bye.